Hi, we're Black Swan.
Black Swan is a revolutionary product that introduces the pay per emotion model. Your attention, your pleasure, and your emotions are the currency of the future. With biodata more readily available than ever and neurolinks on the horizon, Black Swan is the future of payments. There are four ways that we want to revolutionise this. The first is the idea of one-off payments. So for example, if you go to the cinema now, you might pay £15 for a ticket, but we're saying that you might have a cap of £20 and you're only going to pay for the amount of enjoyment you get for the film that you watch. So for example, if you watch a horror movie, you would only pay for how scared you felt or how much you enjoyed that movie. Then we have the subscriptions. So you no longer pay for subscriptions that you find boring. So the idea is that you register for as many subscriptions as you want that you think you might find interesting, and you're only going to pay for the enjoyment you get from those subscriptions. So if the subscription ends up being really bad, you end up paying nothing. On the flip side, for companies, the upside for them is that basic subscription prices can increase, try to force users into this new pay per enjoyment model. And then the users who enjoy their product the most pay more than they would have beforehand. And we think this is fair for the users as well, as people who are getting the most out of a subscription are probably willing to pay more anyway. The final way is helping users claim ownership over their biodata. So users can help companies who are deploying ads to places like Instagram by sharing their biodata for how they felt during watching that ad. This should help companies improve their ads and allows users to get a little bit of money.
So our solution comes in three main parts. Essentially, we have licensable SDKs, a main Black Swan app, and the company dashboard. We also include a hidden smart contract database and server, as well as having an open test calculation algorithm.
The two SDKs we've developed so far is a Swift SDK for iOS apps and a JavaScript SDK for websites. The app then allows users to see their real-time data, where they're earning money from, where they're spending money, how they might be saving money on subscriptions, and the company dashboard allows the companies providing these to fund their escrow contract and to see data about the users. Here's a demo of the Swift SDK. We can see here that we can connect to a device. This allows the SDK to see all of our data. And for this, we'll mock the data just for now. We'll start the monitoring and we can generate a proof and send that to the back end. And that we'll see in a minute. That allows the company to see some information about the user's biodata, but not personal data. So this is all well and good, but how would a company use this? So here we have an Instagram clone. Let's say, for example, I'm scrolling and I come across this ad and I want to show some weak stimuli. So we're on the first ad, I showed some weak stimuli, and then I come across another ad and this resonates more with me and I show some strong stimuli.
So as you can see, this is the dashboard, and we can basically see what we just tested. You can see the low stimuli score that was sent to the backend and the high stimuli score, and then you can see that the payout that the contracts essentially generated for the user. We can see here we can create campaigns. We can also fund escrows so that the users can get funding. And then we've also got our analytics dashboard, which doesn't show personal user, but you can see 2 days worth of engagement score and other data, just because it's only been 2 days of data gathering.
And here on the left, we can see the Black Swan app that users have on the device. So we open up the Black Swan app and we're greeted with our balance on whatever account we choose, which we can choose over here, the connections, the things we're currently subscribed to or that we're paying for. Then we get a spending page that shows how much users have saved on subscriptions, how much they're spending on subscriptions, the same for earnings from watching ads. And on our homepage, we can kind of see an overview of income spending, and we have the typical quick actions you'd have on a wallet.
So here's an example as to how we would integrate our JavaScript SDK into something like Netflix. So the user's just hit a Netflix clone homepage. When the user lands on the homepage, the camera would start and a baseline would be taken in the background. I'm just going to do a neutral baseline for now. It's being captured. While the user's browsing content, they might decide to go on and watch something. So we're going to just go and watch something. It would record a stimulus while they're watching the video. And then once the stimulus has been recorded, it can then generate inside a proof, and it will be verified by the various networks along the tech stack. So first we have Flare, that essentially verifies that there is a stimulus actually included in the transaction. It then gets verified by Plasma, which essentially checks to see if the transaction is on the Flare network itself. And then finally, you have the actual transaction of the escrow, the money being sent to the user. And then we can see from a user's account, from someone who's just reacted, we would be able to then see the transaction 4 seconds ago of the value received from that stimulus, and we'd be able to see from the sender's account the money leaving the actual contract. So essentially, apps that integrate the Black Swan SDK would gather user data from wearables, and then using that user data would create a zero-knowledge proof that would be sent to the smart contract escrow. Information about the transaction would also be sent to the backend. Now, notably, the green arrows denote that the user data itself never leaves the apps that integrate the Black Swan SDK. We also have the app that would also connect to the database to see the transaction information, as well as user wallets.
So our backend server is connected to the database, which holds all transaction data, and it also exposes endpoints between the company dashboard, the Black Swan app, and the Black Swan SDK, which allows all parties to exchange data with each other.
Finally, we have the monetary lines. The company dashboard goes to the escrow contract. This allows the company to deposit funds into the escrow contract, and then upon the zero-knowledge proof being verified, they'll release those funds to the user wallets in the bottom left.
Holy yeah.